Welcome to another video chock full of quarters.
Let's get collecting. Let's see what we got for quarters. Oh, look at that. Grab a handful of quarters and we're going to put it into the case. Hi, I'm Tammy.
And I'm Greg, and we are chock full of quarters.
I want to go over a couple things. Make sure you wait to the end for the drawing of the second can of chock full of quarters, can of quarters. The other thing I want to go over is Antonio Clark Yeldell. Sorry, I think I might have just butchered that. I know I had left you a message that we were going to go over negotiating tips for purchasing your first laundromat. And as we were putting stuff together to do that, we decided that there was so much information that it was going to be a video on itself. So come a week from Saturday, we will have a video just on that subject alone. Because we discovered there was a lot of information that we needed to cover. So we're going to start off with Joseph Hominick. Joseph, I hope I said that right. Your question was as to why we don't have a magic jack.
Well, we decided to go with a cell phone because basically it allows you a certain level of freedom. With a magic jack, we'd pretty much have to be at home all the time, or one of us would have to be at home all the time to answer the phone in case one of our customers has a problem. Nowadays, with cell phones, you just have a cell phone. You can go out to eat, out to the movies. When we go on vacation, we drop it off at the girl that watches it. And bear in mind, this is for an unattended laundromat. If you're attended, it's different. Your attendant's going to handle everything, and they'll call your personal cell when there is a problem that they can't handle. So that's why we have a cell phone.
And you're also going to need to have probably a number that people can reach you at after hours, because we've gotten calls after hours numerous times where I think the biggest one was we got a call. Actually, Greg got a call on his personal cell from, who was it?
It was a buddy of mine I went through the police academy with. He called me on my personal cell relatively late at night. We were about, it was pretty late. And he said, "Hey, I'm down at your laundromat, and you got a flood down here." So
yeah, we got down there. We got down there.
Got down there pretty quick.
It was about 2 inches of water everywhere, and the fire chief was like, "Hey, we've been trying to call you on the number that's listed on the window, and it doesn't work." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean it doesn't work?" He's like, "I don't know." And we had forgotten, because we would buy. It was just that it was a flip phone, 10 cents a minute for $100 for a year. And it was cheap. It was just an easy way to do it, and we forgot to re-up. We had just totally forgot.
Yeah.
So the phone had been out for 2 days. We have no idea, what could have happened while we were, while the phone was off. But cell phones definitely work better, I think, for us when it comes to our laundromat. And again, everything that we do at our laundromat is what we do. And I know other people do things differently. And, we just hope that, it's just what we do, and that's what we're going to tell you about. We had talked about the Magic Jack, though. And every time we talked about the Magic Jack, as opposed to having the cell phone, we came back to the same thing. How are we ever going to leave the house to go somewhere? One of us, we couldn't go shopping together. We couldn't go off for a picnic. So,
Because you have to look at owning a laundromat, it's like having a small child. You can't leave it alone.
Yeah.
I mean, you can leave it alone, but you can't be somewhere where it can't get in touch with you if a customer needs to in some form.
That's a good analogy.
You know,
it is like a child. It really is.
Yeah.
There has to be an adult in the room.
Yeah.
Or nearby. They really do. And there have been times when we've gone to the movies and we've gotten a phone call, and I'll tell you this, even though we have a cell phone and people could call that number 24 hours a day, in the 12 years that we've owned the laundromat, only once have I ever gotten a phone call after midnight. Just one. And they didn't say anything. So, and I just happened to be up. So it's really not that, you're not going to get crank calls. or anything like that. So that's pretty much, I hope that answers your question, Joseph. What we're going to talk about tonight is, it kind of harkens back to this: why you should post a phone number for your customers. There are lots of laundromats out there who leave little cards where, I had this problem, I lost $1, and they put the card in a box, and then the owner or somebody collects them and goes through them and issues refunds or ignores them or whatever. I don't like that approach. I feel I think it's a little cold and a little disconnected. And here's why. I think and I have my phone number posted in 4 places, I believe. And the reason that I have it in 4 places is because, one, again, your customers are lazy. They are not going to take the time to look for it in one place. You'll be lucky they look for it in one of the 4. But I do believe that when you have a phone number that they can call you, they tend to trust you a little bit more, and they'll trust your business. And here's why. Because when my customer calls and it's something that we have to go down for, I tell them, hey, we'll be there in 15, 20 minutes. We're on our way. We're going to fix this problem for you. And that goes a long way far as word of mouth. Hey, I was at this laundromat and I had a problem, and they just showed up. They came down, they got me my money back, or they started the machine, and it builds a lot of trust when you're able to do that. They are more likely to let you know there's a problem.
Yeah, that's important. You have to, if a dryer is just simply not working, and somebody doesn't call, and just with the card system that Tammy just mentioned, where they leave the little index cards. What if the owner is the type of person, and I could see owners being like this, where 3 or 4 days go by before they check it? Well, now you have a dryer out for 3 or 4 days before you know about it.
Yeah.
With our system, granted, it may be a part that I need to maybe out for longer or whatever, but with our system, I know it's out immediately.
And people aren't constantly losing money.
And if it's something I can fix, I fix it immediately. Yep. And then if it's something I need to order a part for, I order it immediately and all that. So. And
I always say, and we always tell our customers, always, when somebody calls, and when they call to tell us there's a problem, we either, if we can fix it over the phone, and we'll get into that in a minute, or we have to go down, we always thank them. We thank them for calling. And I say, thank you so much for calling, because if I don't know there's a problem, I can't fix it.
Yeah.
And when I say that to them, every time they find a problem, or they hear, they're there and like, hey, somebody's having a problem with this machine, they'll call and tell me. So I don't have 5 or 6 customers losing money in a machine, and them I could potentially lose up to 100 customers if I never know that there's a problem with the machine, if nobody ever decides to call me. And your customers will not call you at first. They just won't. And here's why a lot of times they don't call, because they think they broke it. If they think they broke it, they are not going to call you, because they're afraid that you're going to make them pay for it. So that's one of the reasons why we have phone numbers up. Oh gosh, I can't even read my own writing. Okay. It really does build a relationship with your customers when you're able to talk to them. And we have a story we have a customer, and we called her, we nicknamed her Putter Jack. I don't know if anybody remembers the movie.
Billie Jean, The Legend of Billie Jean.
Yes, and it was the younger friend, and she had that squeaky voice.
Yeah. The character's name was Putter Jack. She's the woman who does the voice of Lisa Simpson on The Simpsons.
That's right. So whenever she called, she literally sounded like Putter Jack. So we called her Putter Jack.
And she also, ironically, looked a little bit like her.
Yeah, she did. Actually, she did.
It was a little weird.
It was a little. It was. But she would call us after we got to kind of know her. She went to the laundromat twice a week. I believe she did her own laundry on one day, and then she did laundry for an elderly woman that lived in her building. And she would call anytime she saw a problem, or somebody struggling with a machine. She would literally walk up to that person and be like, I know the owners, let me give them a call. She called us about everything. Seriously. The trash can tipped over and she'd call us.
Yeah.
but that's how we found out about a lot of problems that we had that we just wouldn't have known about. It was because of Putter Jack, and we have other stories about Putter Jack, but
Yeah.
that's Putter Jack was always calling us.
Yeah.
Jeez. So okay, here it is, the last one. Know how to fix your stuff over the phone. So here's what we tell everybody: these machines are like our children.
Yeah, they sometimes just out of nowhere, and I mean, yeah, for those of you who have children, you know, out of nowhere, sometimes they just decide to misbehave.
Yeah.
Washers and dryers are no different.
Yep.
You know, all of a sudden, something comes loose, and sometimes it's something internal which you have to go down and actually fix. Sometimes, there's some of our machines where you all seen the video where we sweep out the lint. On those newer machines, if the door is not seated properly, there's a little button in there, and if that button is not in, the machine won't run with that lint door not on, and that it knows it's on because that little button is pressed. And if the door, as these machines get older and start vibrating, if that door slips out and that button comes undone,
Yeah,
it's not.
it
It
won't
just
start.
thinks it won't work.
And a lot of times I'll
And-
just and I will one of the first things I'll do is
Yeah.
with my customers, I'll be like, if I know if they're explaining a problem to me, and I'll be like, I know what's wrong with this, or I think I know what might be wrong. Will you try something with me on the phone? And I explain to them they're like my children, and if this doesn't work, if this doesn't fix it, then I'm gonna hop in my car and I'm on my way. And 9 times out of 10, they will be like, yeah, let's try it. And so sometimes it's the handle on the washer. You just need to turn it just a little bit tighter, or sometimes you have to open the door and close it again, or it's kick the panel, or
Yeah.
or something little, or sometimes on the Milner, they're like, I put my $4 in, and I'm like, will you try something and just put one more quarter in, because sometimes you might miscount, and then it'll miraculously start up. And so sometimes, they really will appreciate not having to wait, that it's fixed over the phone. And that's why you should know how all of your stuff works. That's why you should know which one are your problem children machines, and which ones work best and which ones don't work the best. And so having that kind of contact over the phone with your customers is really important, because sometimes what we've discovered is whenever we walk in, everybody has a problem.
It seems
and
like it
you're
seems like
handing out
if
quarters.
you're there and somebody says I lost $1 on this machine, and you go up and it doesn't work, and like, I'm sorry, and you open the change machine and you hand them $1 back. If they're there, they come out of the woodwork, and they're not 99% of the time they're not trying to scam you out of free quarters. They just didn't think to call, didn't want to bother you, felt bad about it.
Yeah.
But if you're standing there, they don't feel so bad about it. Oh,
Yes.
hey,
Yeah.
this happened to me, or this happened to me a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, or you get a lot of that. So,
And we don't give money after a week. Somebody nails us down and be like, hey, a week ago I was here, and I was like, and I point out where all four of the number is listed 4 times around the laundromat. If you have a problem, you have to call me, because I can't do anything about it now a week later. And I tell them that, and I won't give them back their money. But I tell them, if you have a problem, you call me, and I will be here to come fix this. And they're okay with that.
Or we will make it right in some way.
Some way. Sometimes I'll throw a couple quarters in the dryers for them, or whatever. In keeping your customers, you'll know if you have good instincts. When you need to make it right, you'll know when to make it right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So that was pretty much going over all of that, having contact with your customers, via the phone.
And why we have a cell phone.
And why we have a cell phone.
Yeah.
So there's something that I would like to say. I'm really glad. I want to thank everybody for the comments for the Keenan video. Those were all such great comments. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. We enjoyed making
Yes.
it for Keenan.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. And that thing with Greg,
Yes,
that really happened.
that was real. We each made our own posters, and on the back, I should say we each made the front of our own posters.
I did the
but
numbers,
she
yeah.
did the numbers on the back, and I wasn't there for that. So I, for some reason, just assumed I had to flip it like that.
Yeah.
And I did that, and then I looked down, and I'm like, damn it! So
Yep.
that was not ad-libbed. That really happened.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny, and
Yeah.
and I didn't cut it out because I
Yeah.
thought it was
No,
hilarious.
and like I said,
Yeah.
Tammy has a real good sense of humor, and that was
Funny.
fun.
So I want to thank everybody for the comments. It was so nice. I'm glad everybody else enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing it. And you know, Keenan, I got your email today, and thank you very much. And we'll be in contact. I do want to give a shout out. Okay, so I'm not going to name names, but I want everybody to listen. So I want to get, because I totally thoroughly enjoyed this. So maybe the next time we have a code word, you can all do this. I enjoyed all the people who worked the word haunted into a sentence, like an actual
Yeah.
sentence. I thought that the first one I read, I was like, oh, look at that. He could work that word in there. And then I kept reading and I realized that you were all doing it on purpose. I thought it was absolutely fabulous. I loved it. Every time I found one, I'd be like, Greg, listen to this. And it was great. It was absolutely fabulous. So I definitely enjoyed those.
That was fun.
I do have, hold on one second, because I need to pull up. Chump Change Outdoors had a question, and I wanted to answer it, and I didn't write it down because it was kind of a long question. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. But yes, we
enjoyed making the video, and it was fun, and having to work with the cameras inside the washer and the dryer, and
that was fun. It was.
it was fun, and we did see, and we have to admit we saw Keenan doing it, and we were like, that's a good idea. And we
He
thought
does.
he
He always seems to do things, and we're like, "Hey, that was our idea," but he already did it.
So
And
we
we're
can't, we can't really say he stole our idea because he did it first.
Yeah,
but we had talked about a lot of different things
Yeah.
and where to put the camera, and then he does it, and we're like, oh, okay, well, I guess it does work. We can try that.
Okay, so Chump Change Outdoors was asking about wondering if we had ever done like an SBA loan and how difficult it was. So no, we've never done an SBA loan. We were lucky enough to be able to do owner finance. SBA loans, I did look into them, and I'm going to be real honest with you. I didn't have a lot of hope about us getting an SBA loan. Well, at the time, everything was collapsing, so they were not giving loans to anybody. In actuality, SBA loan, from everything I read, because I've never done it, but everything I read is that they don't actually give the loan. They help you prepare you for the loan with a bank, and some of their requirements are pretty strict, and the way they do things. Also, again, I have to remember to say this in every single video. Some of the best information that you can ever get about buying a laundromat, having a laundromat, is the planetlaundry.com website, and you go to their forums. There are guys on there. Every question that you think has been asked about 800 times, and it's been answered 800 times. And they will tell you, if you go on there and start asking questions, the people on the forum are going to say, hey, you need to stop for a minute and start reading back through all the other questions. I remember it took me almost 3 months. I read every single question that was on the forum back in 2007. 2007, 2008. I read every single question. And so that I knew, and here's why I think it's important.
She became so knowledgeable. It was amazing. So on a subject we had no experience with.
Yeah. And you need to be knowledgeable, because I'm going to tell you right now, when I do the video for next Saturday, this is one of the things that I talk about. You have to get on there. You have to know more than the laundromat owner that you're going to buy this place from. You have to be. You have to know the language. You need to know the lingo. So get on that forum and start reading. And then when you have questions that you couldn't find, if you couldn't, like, hey, I got a question, I couldn't find it on there. I mean, you can even search it on there if you want. Then ask it. And these guys got like 50 years of experience. You definitely want to be getting some good information from him. So the SBA loan, from everything that I've heard, I heard it was very difficult to get loans. Now, with everything that's going on with this virus and the president issuing or opening up SBA loans, I don't know. That sounds more like for like if a laundromat owner, if the government forced us to close, you could go and get a loan to keep
that
up.
sounds like to
Yeah.
help existing businesses not get too
Yeah.
far behind. I'm not sure.
But
whether
there are lots of options
gonna
when it
happen with
comes
that.
to owning a laundromat for getting financing. Banks now are very willing to give for a laundromat because it's a good business. It's a recession-proof business. We've talked about that before. There are investors out there who are looking to invest in a laundromat. And once again, like I'm going to say it again, and I will say it every single time. If you're not going to go the route of trying to do a free laundromat, like in the Danny D'Angelo system, which I believe does work, we haven't been able to try it just because of our circumstances here where we are, which is a man owns 90% of the laundromats in our city. Mm-hmm. They don't come up very often. I do believe Danny's system can work for the right person. But if you have to go the route where you have to pay for a laundromat, there are options out there, and whether it's owner financing, whether it's through the bank, friends and family, investors, they're out there. You have to be willing to look at all options when you want to do this.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your questions. And do I think that you could own a laundromat after having to retire as a mechanic? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There isn't a lot of heavy lifting to do. There really isn't, unless you're installing the machines yourself, which if you're new to this, you're probably not going to. I mean, Greg, installed...
Our fix-it guy, our repair guy, we had one installed, and he didn't bring
Just
an
recently.
assistant with him. Yeah, it was just about 3 or 4 months ago. He asked me, he says, hey, if I show up, I brought the machine. He said, if I show up with all the equipment to put it in, you have the machine, can you help me? Now, I am not a plumber or a fix-it guy or anything like that. That's not my background. And I was like, sure. Now, there was a point that he wanted help in a certain aspect. At one point, you do have to scoot this machine on, and it's heavy. It's not, I'm not a bodybuilder by any means, but there's a little bit of lifting involved in that respect. And I was able to, and he and I were able to walk it onto the thing and get it on, and
Yep.
he put the bolts in, and he didn't bring some magic tool that I had never seen. He used my ratchet set, and it was simple.
And I mean, first time in 12 years
Yeah,
that you had to install a machine.
Yeah.
I mean, we've installed top loaders and stuff, but that's nothing. That's
top
we're
loader,
talking this stuff. We're talking hard mount
yeah.
stuff. So yes, can you do it? Absolutely. There's no reason why. I believe anybody with any kind of ability can run a laundromat. I've even heard of disabled laundromat owners, and they do a fabulous job. So
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why
And
not.
especially if you have a mechanical background and you're mechanically inclined,
Yeah.
there might be some stuff at first you're going to need to call the fix-it guy for a lot of things, your repair guy, to come out and do it. If he's in any way a decent person, he'll let you watch and explain what he's doing.
And that's
where I've learned a ton of stuff.
that is one of the biggest tips that we learned early on. And it wasn't something we learned. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to give credit to our fix-it guy, because he said to us, I'm not here to just fix your stuff. I'm here to teach you,
Yeah.
because you'll never get off. Because he knew that the guy that he worked for, who was the previous owner of our laundromat, knew that he was overcharging people like these exorbitant rates. So he said to us, looked us dead in the eyes, he's like, you all need to start paying attention.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to teach you how to do this stuff. And we only call him now that he's gone. He works for another company. And whenever I have to call down there, because they're really expensive, I save up stuff. So you're all wondering why dryers 2, 5, and 6 are out. Well, they all need gas valves. And that's what's going on.
Now, there are some things I do not go near. Generally speaking, gas is one of them, because it's just something I don't want to deal with.
Yep.
And
that's why we save up the stuff. We've learned how to do just about everything else. I think the other thing we won't do is the stacks and the backs of the dryers, when those,
Yes,
because it's so hard to get back there. And that's a whole other video. I know everybody wants to see the back behind our dryers. We will. It's patience, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know. I want to tell you I want to tell them all about everything, but we
Yeah.
can't. It's patience. So okay, we're getting to the end because Greg's wrapping up, and I know you all want to know. Oh my gosh, we're almost at 25 minutes. This was only supposed to be 15 minutes. I want to do some shout outs.
Matthew Zincola,
Welcome.
welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining. We appreciate
Thanks
it.
for watching. I
I'm
think
sorry.
it's Lawrence Schaefer.
Lawrence Schaefer, yeah.
And I wrote something here. Hold on a second. Welcome. I know what it was. I know you asked a few questions, and I'm going to try to get to them. I'm going to try to answer them on the page. If not, if I don't answer your questions on the page, then it means I'm saving them up to answer them in a video. So I know you asked a couple questions. I'm going to go through them. Brunson 3 Film, welcome. Thank you for watching. Yeah. Okay, so Juan, we hope to God we're going to say your name right.
Kanabahal.
Yeah.
We
hope that's it.
I hope
I'm sorry if it's wrong.
Again, apologize for...
thank you for the comments. Let's see. Keep watching, and I hope that you can learn something. You know, if you're looking to get in the laundromat business, keep watching. I hope that you can take.
We'll help if we can.
We'll help.
We'll answer what we can, and if not, we'll
ask a question. Maybe
ask a question. We'll see what we can do.
I think that's it for all of our stuff. Now, we got to cut this short, and I know this video is coming out late. I'm sorry for that. I know that usually I have my videos out Monday and Thursday mornings. It's been extremely busy. We've been having some stuff to go on. We're actually getting ready to leave right now to go do our collection, and that video will be out on Monday. So,
but don't forget, at the end of this video, stick around for the drawing.
For the drawing.
And
the code word.
And the code.
Oh yes, okay.
We'll put a code word.
The code word. Also, for if you are new to the channel, this is how it's working now. We are doing we're going to have 4 weeks of videos. You watch for the code word, put it in the comment section, and you will be entered in to win that can full of quarters. All of our other ones are closed now. All of our other videos are now closed. We won't be taking entries for that. We're just going to do 4 weeks at a time now. So you should have, if you watch each of our videos, you should have actually 8 entries.
8 entries.
8 entries. Because we do it twice a week. We do 2 videos a week. We have the collection, and then we have this.
And if we're lucky, we get a bonus video.
And a bonus video. So you might have another one.
We might have 9 this time.
You might 9 or 10. 9
entries.
Yeah, 9 entries. So
hopefully
we'll
see.
So just.
But stick around for the drawing and see if see who won.
See who won, and the person who won, congratulations.
Congratulations.
And I have already sent you a message, so just respond back. Here we go. Have a good night. So this is the pile of everybody's name. Look at all that. So Greg, it doesn't fit in the can, so now we're gonna put it in this box. So we can draw a name. Greg, go ahead and put everybody's. Whoop. Let's make sure we don't miss
hanger.
Here. Oh, I want to make sure we don't miss any. And as you can see some names down in there. Everybody's names are in there. Why don't you give it a little bit of a shake? Okay, hold on a second. Let me get the camera set up, and we will, hold on a second. Okay. So I don't know if everybody can see, the can of quarters are here.
Yeah.
Our can of quarters, how much is in there? Is it 182?
182 and some change.
Some 75, I believe.
I counted it. Let me double check my numbers. And I believe...
I think it was like 182.75, I think.
182.75, yeah, that's what's in there. So
this is what we're giving away. So I'm gonna go in. Let's
don't look.
So we're gonna get it all shook up.
Up.
Let me see. Who is it?
And the winner is
William Burke. William Burke. Congratulations, William.
Yeah.
You got yourself a can of quarters.
Yep. We'll be contacting you shortly.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We'll be.
Tammy will be emailing you.
I will be emailing you to get a hold of us. So, congratulations.
Congratulations.